What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome to episode number 492 of the Smark Moments Smack Talk podcast, Hot Tags of the Week, where we'll be breaking down some of the current events and rumors and news and gossip and hearsay and speculation and other things that have happened in the world of pro wrestling over the past few days we feel like talking about. I usually try to do that in one shot. I don't know why I always do that, but it's a thing where it's just kind of get it all out in one breath kind of a thing. I'm your host, as always, Tony Mango. Joining me as always is Robert DeFelice.
Tony, we're here. It's another week. How are you?
Another week, skip that answer. How about you?
Yeah, you know what? Let's just make that 2 for 2. Skip that.
Hopefully,
I ask the question and I'll skip the answer.
Yeah, hopefully everyone listening is doing well enough and that they can say so, that they're doing well enough. And hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this episode. And if you do, or you don't, even, drop a comment below. Tell us your thoughts on everything that's going on here and your thoughts on our thoughts and everything that we've got. Hit the like button if you do like it. Especially like it, hit the applause button. That's a little tip jar kind of a thing. Share this with anybody who you think you might, that they might enjoy this kind of a thing. We've got the join button on here. That's the same thing as the Patreon. Go to patreon.com/smarkoutmoment to help support us. That is the number one best motivating tool that we've got here. And it isn't just a morale boost. It's also something that directly helps fund things to go in a better direction going forward, to do things like how I'm going to have to look into soundproofing and go into trying to sort out some other things like that. So that stuff goes directly into that. Well, we'll see. I'll get into that. But there's lots of things that go into a lot of that stuff. So even $1 of the donations to the Patreon a month makes a big difference, especially the more that people do it. So if you think that we're giving you $1 worth a month of good enough content, please consider donating to the Patreon. It actually does help out a lot. And the same thing applies to fanboysanonymous.com. If you want to help out on the one side, you're still helping out the other one, because it still is stuff that's coming out of my pocket and my time and my money and all that stuff. So helping out the one helps out the other one. Helping out both really helps out. So if you do want to see more things from fanboysanonymous.com, go ahead and check that stuff out there. Follow and subscribe to those accounts just as much as you would do with Smark Out Moment. Check out the merchandise shops that apply to everything that's in this whole spectrum under a mango tree. You got the TeePublic and Redbubble shops for Smark Out Moment, Fanboys Anonymous, and a mango tees. There's stuff on Spotify and Amazon and all this other kind of stuff. If you got it out there, you hit the follow button, you hit the share, you hit the like, and you hit the donate button, then that's how you help us out. So it's self-explanatory.
That's how buttons work.
Lots of buttons. If you've got a zipper, I don't know if that works quite the same, but at least on social media, it doesn't. Maybe ZipRecruiter or something. Anyway, let's get into the hot tags here. Let's talk about some of these things. I want to go back actually to something that I had addressed a little bit before. I want to get your opinions about this, because this ties into a different hot tag of sorts. They are advertising Diamond Mine on NXT. Originally, we talked about it on the trademark side of things, and then they showed a vignette, but we still don't know what it's all about. And one of the rumors was that it's Tessa Blanchard. Now, over the past few days, there's even more talk of, nope, it's not Tessa. And then that gets people going, well, then that must mean she's going to AEW. And then the other talk goes, nope, not for that either.
But I've never seen... This is like just saying, oh, Mabel was the third man. I don't... Nobody is saying that this woman is being hired anywhere.
And yet it keeps popping up.
She's not getting picked up, and when she does, you'll know. As far as the Diamond Mine, people jumped to that conclusion because she had the whole diamond kind of aesthetic. But they were clearly showing cage fighters.
To me, the Diamond Mine thing, I highly doubt, if Tessa were to even go to WWE, that they would call her Diamond Mine. So that I wasn't buying. I do think that there's a chance she might go to WWE at some point, but she wouldn't be Diamond Mine.
Nobody's touching her, dude. like, regardless of for whatever reason, maybe it's not even the whole getting caught on camera saying the N word. Actually, I don't think she was caught on camera. I think it just like was the story that came out. But maybe it's more the attitude issues than anything else.
Some purple monkey dishwasher kind of thing.
Yeah, look, I don't want to speculate because I don't know, but everything that we hear says nobody's touching her right now. So I guess we'll see when it happens. And when it does, look, I think if she did things that she allegedly did, awful, but I also think she's an asset. And it's kind of like one of those things like a riddle scenario where if a company chooses to use them, you then have to look at the performance and the character and all that. And can she add something to the women's division? Yes. But right now, nobody's touching her.
You know who Riddle really likes riddle scenarios?
The Riddler.
Bingo. So you solved that one.
World's greatest detective.
If you're interested in Riddler talk, check out that Mount Rushmore that we did of Batman villains. That's fun.
Look, and I got news for you. Callum and I are getting way too used to you because we're solving your shit before you can start.
Really, like, used to the idea of the way that Tony enunciated that means he's got a stupid ass joke that he's ready to line up. So what would the go-to terrible dad joke be out of the bunch? All right, it's probably this one. Yep.
You got Hatcher wrong, which people can hear that on a review to a kill in a month from now. But yeah, we're on to you, Tony.
May 28th. Check out when Callum solves another one of those on the Tomorrow Never Dies edition of A Review to a Kill. Yeah, so the Blanchard thing, I think we're just going to constantly hear about it until something happens.
Something happens, yeah.
And in the meantime, I cannot think of anything that Diamond Mine makes sense with.
It's going to be a group of dudes. And I pitched something wild. I wasn't watching the match when I pitched this, or watching the show when I saw the thing. I was like, yeah, it's Bronson Rex Steiner, Parker Boudreaux, and Eva Marie as their manager, and they're all just like, it's just a bunch of, diamonds in the rough. And listen, I was close with Eva because she's finally coming back.
You know who likes diamonds in the rough?
Diamond Dallas Page.
That cave in Aladdin.
Okay.
I haven't even gotten my second COVID shot. I'm already tired.
You know what I like about diamonds? They're forever.
They're all I need to please me. That's for sure. I don't want to get into how much they stimulate. Somebody not following Bond series right now is just like, the fuck are they talking about? Check out A Review to a Kill. We did it like, I don't know, 10 episodes ago. No, 11 episodes ago. That was episode 007.
You know what else? I speak English.
Well, let's talk about a woman. The Eva-lution has begun. Eva Marie has returned to Monday Night Raw. One of the major talking points of Monday Night Raw was that. And we've known that she's been a part of the mix for a little while. It was a rumor for a little bit there that she was going to come in as the person that Angel Garza was giving the rose to the camera, which I think would have been kind of lame.
Now he's giving rose to the ass of Gulak.
That happened too on Monday Night Raw. Angel Garza shoved the rose up Drew Gulak's ass. So
you know what? We'll get there. We'll get there when we do TV stuff.
I think we should just even talk about it. Just
all right, fine. Angel Garza just shows up, and for some reason, Drew Gulak's like, "Hey, yo, you got a rose? Is that for me?" Ha ha ha! And Angel Garza, best delivery ever. I'm going to shove this rose up you ass. Nothing. And then, lo and behold, the man actually shoves the rose up his ass. I appreciate his ability to promise something and follow through.
Yeah, you can't say he's a liar.
that they put Angel Garza versus Drew Gulak on Monday Night Raw when former world champions Jeff Hardy and Jinder Mahal were on main event.
That's another hot tag we gotta talk about.
Ah,
The Eva Marie thing was just a vignette. It was just like, hey, Eva Marie's back. And
look, don't sell it short. Eva Marie looks very good.
yeah,
That was I can say that without it being like this weird sexist thing because that was literally the point of the vignette. It
right.
was, hey, do I have your attention now? Look at me being sexy.
I've never understood the whole a woman looks hotter on a car thing.
Tony, we have watched like 22 Bond films. What do you mean you haven't understood? A woman looks hotter on a car.
Because the car does nothing for me.
But you remember the car that Xenia was driving, you know why?
Well, because it's Xenia. I mean, come on.
That's right.
But she could have been driving a set of power wheels, and that would have been like, all right, well, according to Big E's logic, she's going up in the world.
That is fair.
New Day podcast, so good. Yeah, the Eva Marie thing got some people upset. Typical
Why?
scenario where they're all like, why are you firing a whole bunch of people and then signing Eva Marie because she's not good in the ring and all this. For that matter, we don't know if she's gotten better in the ring, so give her a chance. She
Bro,
might have.
but no, look, I hate this. They released them because they released them. It's not like they put out an all press release saying WWE signs Eva Marie in the wake of 15 releases. Like,
Yeah,
Eva
they
Marie
didn't
was
fire
fine.
them to hire Eva. They hired her and they fired them at another point. It's not like she got their contracts. I see the point when people can be upset and go like, well, you should have saved the money and whatever. But I also kind of go like, well, they're not actually as related as it seems like it is.
Yeah, and you're just being confrontational because you want to be. And like, look, I love Mickey James. I think, listen, our live reactions to those are available in the last quarter two mailbag. Or was the quarter one? It was quarter two, right?
Quarter two,
Quarter two mailbag.
50
That was
cents.
our live reactions. I was horrified at the fact that they got rid of Mickey James and Billy Kay and Peyton Royce. But the fact is, like, I don't want to dwell on that and hate on them bringing in Eva. I'm gonna say something here too. They need Eva. Somebody's got to bring a different flavor to this division.
What flavor do you think she is?
I don't know what flavor do you usually associate with purple. She got purple hair right now. Lavender. She's a lavender flavored something.
Yeah, what purple food is there out there other than grape? I can't think of
Um,
any. I know for the longest time when I was a kid, I always wanted to eat blue food, and blue food just doesn't naturally exist. So I was always just kind
yeah.
of like, do they have blue, whatever? And it's like, no, they don't make like blue hot dogs and stuff.
I'm really drawing a blank. Hold on.
Because blueberries aren't even really blue. They're more like kind of purplish. This is your addition to snack talk for the night, by the way, everybody.
Yeah, here we go.
Purple foods, whatever it might be. I had flowers not
All
that
right,
long
so we
ago,
got
and
eggplant,
flowers do not taste good.
we got blackberries, we got eggplant, we got
Yeah, it's eggplant. Yeah, that's a good point.
what's this?
Eggplant's good.
Got some purple haze bang energy drink, whatever
Yeah, I ain't
flavor
putting that
that
in my
is.
body.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe she's a Skittles wild berry. All right, so she's some kind of berry.
That'll be her new finisher, like the berry blast or something. She's
What
gonna
are we
come out with a
doing?
faction, and it's just the Fanta girls. Don't you wanna Fanta? So I'm not so against the Eva Marie thing as some other people are, but at the same time, I kind of can't imagine that this is going to be some big like boon.
I just said this on the Wrestle Zone podcast. I'm not afraid to uh, repeat it here. They're doing something with Eva because Eva is the new toy. Okay?
Yeah.
Eva is fresh. Eva's hot. Eva's a lot of things right now that some of the women that they have just aren't. That being said, in 3 months when she's on main event,
Mm-hmm.
because she's no longer the new toy.
Yeah.
That's not me wishing that Eva's on main event. That's not me wishing that any of these girls end up on main event. That is me fully jaded to everything that this company does at this point.
Yeah, it's
Why
just
did
the way
they
that things go. Like, how often do people come up from NXT and within 2 or 3 months they're on main event?
right?
There was a portion of the time there for a couple of months that Humberto Carrillo was wrestling like 2 to 3 times a night. Now he's getting his ass whooped by Sheamus and costing Mansoor his undefeated streak. Hell was that about? They built up this dude as like 100 wins or whatever the hell it was, and he comes to the main roster and they have him lose by DQ. You couldn't have had him pin Sheamus. You couldn't had Sheamus get DQ'd or have Sheamus is distracted by Carrillo and he gets counted out. You gotta, on your first night, you're putting him on Raw, you go, nah, fuck that whole undefeated streak thing. What? Sometimes the way that this company makes decisions is like, you couldn't
I
actively
like that it
make
forced
something.
them to bring up 205 Live and main event on Raw, though.
Did they say anything of that? I didn't catch it.
They did, because they had to acknowledge where he's been outside of just wrestling on those two Saudi shows.
That kind of stuff just bugs me, though. I'm like, if you see something in Mansoor, and I think that they should, I think that he's good. Why are you killing him on the first? You're not killing him, jobbing him out or something. But why are you taking away an undefeated streak when you just completely don't need to?
They'll
What
argue
benefit?
that we didn't really take it away because it wasn't a real loss.
They'll be like, it's technically a loss, but it's not a loss, and then you'll go, yeah, but why did you need to do it to begin with? And then they'll go, fuck you, that's why. It's like,
And here's what I'll say about AEW. AEW doesn't do DQ finishes. They don't do distraction finishes. They have their own tropes, like every show ends with a gang war, but they
or
don't.
the distraction DQ things don't go down like that because referees just go, hey, stop it. Okay, we'll count the pin.
Stop at you.
Yeah. Hey, 8 people, get out of the ring.
But I appreciate that they don't just, okay, that ends in a DQ because you got to keep everybody strong.
I mean, the WWE methodology is, does it end in a DQ or does somebody distract somebody or interfere? And then if you
And if it
go,
ends
well,
in
no
clean,
for either of them, then they go, well, why is it clean? And it's like, oh, because we want to job the person out.
right.
Then you get Charlotte Flair beats Dana Brooke by submission because it's like, well, we don't care. Put Flair over, that kind of thing. We'll come back to Monday Night Raw and talk about that in a little bit.
Welcome back to Flair.
Let's talk about what you had mentioned on main event. Because Jinder Mahal came back, Jeff Hardy came back. They had a match that should have been on Monday Night Raw, and on top of that, Mahal is now partnered with one half of Induced Share and one half of the tag team that was the babyface tag team on top of the Induced Share now being babyface and not being anymore from Superstar Spectacle. So we had gotten Dilsher Shanky and Giant Zangier and Rinku Singh and Saurav Gurjar were babyfaces on Superstar Spectacle. Induced Share, not a part of Malcolm Bivens Enterprises anymore, disappeared again. Now, for some reason,
Tyler Rust disappear?
nice, popped around here and there. Not too much lately though. Last time that he had was in the qualifier for the Gauntlet match, if I remember correctly. He might have wrestled after that. I'm not entirely sure, but I know at the very least he was in that one.
That they use Bivens. I don't know how they let Bivens go. Bivens is a hoot.
Has he ever
But
popped
anyway,
up on the bump yet?
no, but he needs to. He should be running the bump. He should be running main event or 205 Live. Bivens should be given a significant amount of airtime. Vince will do it when he agrees to piss his pants, and then we won't be able to get rid of him.
But yeah, now Jinder is with Rinku and Dilsher Shanky, and Dilsher Shanky is just Shanky, and Rinku, instead of Rinku Singh or Rinku, is now Veer. What?
All right. So I won't go into the whole spiel about how I even found out this is a thing because I told you we don't need to get into it. But I look at the
Long and
picture.
short is that Shanky Mania is running wild.
Well, the long and short is that idiots, because I won't say racism, but probably, were like, "Well, that's Indu share." I took
Yeah.
one look at that photo and I said, "Tony,
Yeah.
that Dilsher Shanky." And sure enough, it was. And then I put on main event because I watch that occasionally, especially when I know Shanky Manias are in a wild. And I said, not only is it Shanky, but they've taken away the Dilsher, and it literally is just Shanky. And now the other guy's Veer. Why? Why is he Veer?
Yeah, like, oh, that's Indu's share. That's half of Indu's share, but it's not even Indu's or share.
It's
it's
Veer.
it's not Rinku. It's not Rinku Singh. It's not
Rinku, it's
Sarov
not
or
Singh, it's
Gurjar.
not Swerve, Gurjar, it's Veer.
So where's Sarov? Who the fuck knows? What's up with Giant Zangier? Who the fuck knows? What
We're
about Guru
veering away
Raj?
from that.
I don't know what they're planning on doing with this. It seems like they just kind of said, well, we like those two.
I want to point out that I'm a genius. I called Listen, not only did I call Bronson Reed, I called Dilsher Shanky from the minute I saw the name. Okay? And now Dilsher Shanky is about to take over Monday Night Raw.
Or at least main event.
No, because how good is Shanky and Veer versus AJ and Omos going to be when you can have Shanky stare down Omos?
Which one's taller? Hamas?
I think Omos is huge.
Probably. Yeah, Hamas is like I don't know, like 9'15".
And then let's keep talking about main event.
Trying to think of something that makes no sense when to say that instead of just like, I don't know, 7'2".
Because not only did they put on 2 world champions and a U.S. title feud that was like on every pay-per-view on a random episode of main event, they put Ricochet and Ali, who are cutting promos for this stuff as though they are going to the main event of WrestleMania. They put them on main event.
They're like, we are going to go to the main event
of main event.
And they just end the sentence and walk away.
And Ricochet's out here busting standing shooting star press cross body blocks. Like on main event. That's what we're doing here. Why are these folks on main event? Why are any of these 4 guys on main event?
Why main event? In general. Just...
Well, because Hulu needs to be satisfied.
It's gotta be the answer. It has to be. But yeah, that's the thing happening right now.
NXT UK.
Yeah, NXT UK, we got some stuff to talk about. Actually, you know what? Before we get into that, let's round out Monday Night Raw. Let's see if there's anything else to talk about. Omos and Styles are back. They beat the New Day. We got some other, let's waste some time with this and that and that. So let's throw some tomatoes at Randy Orton.
I got to talk about the Kofi promo. Because he popped me when he said, listen, I get it. Cool, you won a belt and you partied. But I won the WWE title. And then somehow managed the next night to show up on Raw. And I wasn't even a Raw guy. Do your job. That popped me.
They're really good at pointing out some of those things every once in a while. I'm glad that they can get away with that. There's a lot of this episode I wasn't a fan of. Like,
they threw tomatoes at Randy. The Hurt Business is officially split because Cedric told Shelton that he's old and that he was tired of wasting his life trying to keep Shelton's alive. What else happened? Oh, we talked about the rose up the ass already.
I was not a fan of any of the Charlotte and Sonya stuff. To me, that was just like, look, we did this last week. You're just wasting time.
You know what pissed me off? They announced Rhea versus Asuka, only to literally like an hour later go, Charlotte's in the match. Just announce her. Just announce her for the match.
Somebody in some VP position is like, yeah, but if we can do that, we can have 2 announcements on social media.
Yep. That's exactly what it is, and that's
Mm-hmm.
like nauseating to me.
I hate that stuff so much.
But I want to shout out Sonya Deville, who's got a shirt now on WWE Shop that says "Big Deville Energy." And look,
I get it.
they had that ready for SummerSlam last year before she ended up having to quit for a little bit.
I'm surprised it's not like a Daddy DeVille type thing.
I like Big DeVille energy, and they can always get away with doing a Daddy DeVille if she starts wrestling again.
Yeah. I'm like an RK Bro. They beat Elias and Jackson Riker.
Yeah, they did. Look, it's a good pairing. They're probably going to take the Raw Tag titles from
I'm assuming so.
AJ and Omos. By like Randy Orton will like find a way to get up to Omos. He'll climb a ladder to get up to Omos and then RKO. I like Matt Riddle. A lot of fun. It's like there was another. Oh yeah, I just talked about the Shelton Cedric thing, and they lost to Lucha House Party, which
That was surprising.
okay, sure.
Yeah, let's bounce to NXT UK here. And actually, before we talk about that, let's talk about somebody who used to be on NXT UK, Killer Kelly. She's apparently going to Impact. Good for her.
That's good. I mean, she could probably show up elsewhere too, and she's great because she got to keep her name. She got the NXT UK exposure. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I liked her. And I don't know why that things didn't work out with her in NXT UK, but I'm glad that she's doing something else then. That's cool.
And good for Impact.
Good for Impact for getting another person in the mix, yeah. Wow.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Jordan Grace signed another multi-year deal, so I guess she's taking around.
Do you know how long the multi-year deal is for? If it's
I
like
believe it's through
3 or 5?
2023. It's 2.
Ah, well, still 2 more years. So NXT UK was just Vignette City. The whole thing is just backstage segments and just video packages and everything. There's 3 matches that happen in the whole match. 3 matches in the match. The very first one gets stopped because Dave Mastiff just starts bleeding all over the place. And I don't think that that's how they had planned on doing this.
You can't be massive. You can't be massive if you're bleeding all over the place, Dave.
Yeah.
Stop it.
That's the problem. If he would have been massive Dave Mastiff, he wouldn't bled.
That can't happen.
Works well with the Dragunov storyline, though. So if they did plan that out, and if it is just kind of executed that way, then yeah, good enough. But we just got vignettes for Zy Brookside, for Stevie Turner, Isla Dawn, Ginny, or Jinner, as I used to say.
Thank you.
Subculture, A-Kid, Tyler Bate, Danny Luna, Amelia McKenzie. We got a Supernova Sessions. We got Rampage Brown backstage with Wolfgang and Mark Coffey. Just all over the place with that. 7 Beats, Saxon Huxley. And the Loser Leaves NXT UK match was Kenny Williams beating Amir Jordan.
Hey, where do you think Amir Jordan goes?
That is something that will be kind of interesting because I imagine he's probably just going to NXT. But then again, maybe his contract's up.
Maybe, and I could see that happening. Or 205 Live, which just got 2 superstars, gets another one.
Yeah, those 2. Talk about that.
Wow, we actually talked about all of the TV shows. We talked about main
I know.
event.
We're not talking about
NXT
Dark.
UK. Oh, please.
Dark Elevation. What would we talk about with that? 900 matches happened and they were, 11 hours long.
Because I watched Dark Elevation, and by 7:42, I said, Tony, There's like 2 of the announced matches left. Why will the show go another hour and a half?
Yeah.
Like, ah,
It
I
seems like
can't.
they're trying that strategy lately, where they're just like, here's a whole bunch of matches, and also here's a bunch more that we didn't see coming, you know? I don't
I
like it.
guess.
But 2 people that did show up that are brand new for NXT and the whole 205 Live kind of partnership deal. We've got Sterling, otherwise known as Alex Brandenburg, I think his name was. Alex Zane.
Yeah, it's
And
Alex Zane from GCW. Dude is great.
I liked what I saw.
Dude's great. He's gonna be away from 205 Live very quick. Very, very quick. Like I'm more wholesome. Uh,
Very quick.
very quick. Because he's gonna. I don't know, man. I just see too many good things coming together for him.
And the other one was Ikemen Jiro.
I know nothing about him.
I
I
know
like what I
nothing about
saw.
him either, but he seemed kind of cool. And
Yeah.
nobody who I'm gonna like completely gush over and be like, oh my god, this guy's the next like 20-time world champion. But yeah, he's got some personality to him, and that's more than a lot of people can say. A lot of people are just like, guy in trunks. I do super kicks. I do a tope. And he's got his coat on while he's wrestling and seems very energetic and everything. So a thumbs up on both those guys.
Yeah. Big fan.
On the NXT side of things, we had mentioned that there was like another Diamond Mine thing. We also got the False Count Anywhere match between Isaiah Swerve Scott and Leon Ruff. Swerve Scott wins with some help from, at the time, I thought, is that Rusev? Because I was just like, what the hell?
Tony, are you not watching WWE's Most Wanted Treasures?
I watched the first 2 episodes, and then other things got in the way, and I haven't caught up yet. What was the most recent one?
The most recent one was the Jerry Lawler
Oh,
episode. I actually, if we can, I want to talk about that when we're done talking about the other stuff because I'm loving these A&E shows.
I've only seen the first 2 Treasures and the Piper documentary.
I'm loving all of it.
And the most recent of the documentary ones was
a Randy
Macho.
Savage.
Yeah.
Some people thought it was a hit piece.
Hmm.
You know, but we'll get there.
Next week is Booker, I think.
Booker T on both shows, actually.
Some synergy. That's good.
So I like this faction a lot.
The faction, by the way, is for anybody who wants to know, it's Scott. The guy who looks like Rusev is AJ Francis, and there's Brianna Brandy. Is that her name?
Brianna Brandy. Yep.
Yeah. And Ashanti the Adonis.
Love this. This is great. This is everything I could have wanted for Swerve. It's good for Brianna. It's good for the Adonis, who gets away from 205 Live. And it's good for AJ Francis, who, just as we're getting used to him as this host on Most Wanted Treasures, is now a heel wrestler.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did I not make that connection?
Who did you think it was?
I like I said, the very first thought that I had was,
they don't call him anything different. They call him AJ Francis.
I completely forgot that the guy's name on Treasures was Francis or anything. I was just like, that dude looks like Rusev. No, it's not, but kind of looks like him.
No,
And I'm
I
like,
guess,
who is this? And then I start looking it up, and it's like, oh, it's AJ Francis, and I'm like, oh, okay, I remember typing that name out before. You know.
I guess spending time with Undertaker and Kane and Jerry Lawler and Mick Foley got him excited about going to work.
That's cool. That's even better then.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think this faction has legs.
That makes a little more sense now that he goes by that Top Dollar name, because he's he's going to be giving you top dollar for your your memorabilia.
I like that show. I'm not gonna knock it too much.
So yeah, cool looking, stable. I don't know what the name is gonna be yet, so
I
hopefully
think
it's
they
not
said.
something bad.
I think he was alluding to like the entourage, which it's simple, but fuck it.
I don't
I think
remember if
it's
they
good.
had trademarked anything. I think that they trademarked something close to that. Yeah, sometime pretty soon. Double
I
check
mean, I
about
guess
that
we'll have to
too.
wait and see, but I'm sure we'll know by next week.
So we do trademark entourage. Let's see. I'm not seeing that as anything that's happened anytime soon. Maybe there's like a trademarks list or something like that. Trademarkia.com. I wonder if that's got some information with that. They've got Friendship Frog, Austin 316. There's no like order how often they did this. So wow, they have so many different things. Skylar Story.
Okay.
We still don't know who
So
Skylar Story
they
is, right? I know
recently
this.
just trademarked Hit Row.
Hit Row. That'd be cool. I like that.
I like Hit Row a lot, actually. Subculture, they trademarked.
That's NXT UK.
I thought Symbiosis was NXT UK.
South Wales
Or
Subculture. Remember that?
gotcha. Are they just subculture now?
Yeah. Because now they
So
got the three of them.
right. So the most recent one is Hit Row, which I can get behind. And yeah, I like it a lot.
They're definitely not Diamond Mine.
They're definitely not Diamond.
Neither are they Tessa Blanchard. So I like that idea. We got a new guy, Asher Hale, losing to Cameron Grimes.
Anthony Henry from Evolve.
We had another Cameron Grimes with Ted DiBiase thing too on that show.
Big for this. He's like, no, I bought the VIP section. Come on. Cameron Grimes, like, you're not on the list. And DiBiase just shows up like, hey, you're rich now. Buy the whole place. Love it.
Of course, he's like, I'm watching that with Caroline, and I forget which match it was. It might have been on Raw. I don't know. It was something around here where I was just like, all right, the match is probably going to end in about 8 seconds. And she was like, what? And I was like, just wait for it. And I wasn't even watching the screen. And then like pretty much like 8 seconds later, she's like, 3, 1, 2, 3. And she's like, how'd you know that? I'm like, it's just, I've seen a million matches at this point. Like you don't have to watch it to know when it's about to end most of the time.
Exactly.
And when they came up with the DiBiase thing, I was like, oh. And she's like, what? And I'm like, oh, it's just it's Ted DiBiase. He's the guy that has done this and that and that. My realtor had him for his wedding, for instance.
Dude,
so,
I would get him for my wedding.
And
this is why I'm never getting married. I would want things like that.
When he was coming out there, I was like, and he's about to laugh. And she was like, what? And then he goes, ha 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 ha. And just gives this look like, I didn't know he was going to laugh. Whatever. Like, that's a catchphrase. It's not like I'm really that, that prophetic where I'm just going to like, and he's going to go and put his left foot first on this and like that kind of thing. It's like, nah, he laughs. He always laughs. DiBiase's great though.
He is.
Thatcher and Ciampa beat Grizzled Young Veterans. Saray beats Zeta Ramir. LA Knight beats Jake Atlas. And we get the whole scuttlebutt between Cross and O'Reilly and Dunn and Balor and Gargano and Theory and all that. Just kind of wasting time for another week, not having to settle down on who's going to be challenging for the championship.
Who do you think is going to challenge for the championship?
I think it's going to be Balor. I think they're just doing Balor versus Cross on another episode and being like, let's milk it. Probably O'Reilly gets the next pay-per-view shot. Because we don't know when the next pay-per-view is going to be either. So
probably either June or SummerSlam.
June or July, yeah. And then we got The Way winning the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. So we've had 3 champions in the course of a month.
I'm not mad at it. I think it makes it feel like, hey, watch this. I'm not mad at Hot Potato stuff right now when it's not a frequent thing. You know what I mean? Too many people hold these belts for too gosh darn long.
I mean, I prefer twice baked potato. I prefer, kind of one of those potatoes that are baked and have all like the chives and bacon and all that on there.
Yeah.
Hot potatoes, okay though. Leave a comment below. Tell me how much you hate me. So, I would have rather had the way actually just win the titles from the onset.
I'm not gonna complain about this because this fucking match was great. This felt like NXT from the pre-USA era. This was so good. I mean, you tell me, did you not like it?
I honestly missed about half of it.
You need to go back and watch it. Watch this one
That good that
match.
it's really worth it.
Yeah. I'm telling you it's worth it because it felt important. It felt like old NXT. It felt like, yeah, this is why I fucking like this brand.
I'll probably well, whenever I get a chance. When I can figure out a way to, clone myself, I'll do it. But if you get a chance to watch it, Rob's giving you the thumbs up to definitely check it out. I liked what I had seen. I didn't see
It's
the
the
whole thing.
first time I watched anything as just like a fan in fucking weeks. I wasn't Tuesday night's not my night, so I was just like, you know what? I watched some the A&E stuff, and I was like, you know what? Let me watch this NXT match, and boy, was it good.
Boy, was SmackDown not.
I disagree. There's elements of the show I liked a lot.
I really didn't like how this was a throwback episode where
Okay, well
all that
that's
was a
kind of what I like.
throwback was Teddy Long, yellow graphics, and clips from
But
the
I'm not
past.
mad at it anymore because it wasn't a WWE call. It was a Fox call. I didn't know. I was not. I don't follow the Fox network like that, so I was not smartened up to the idea that they're doing throwback stuff all week and all weekend on Fox, and SmackDown had to be a part of that. That's why none of it made sense. And they did like this random 1980s show intro for a show that debuted in 99, and none of it made sense really, but we'll give you a digital fist because we know you want it.
I'm not giving
And
him a pass. You could try harder.
could they though?
Yeah, easily.
What would you have done?
Have a couple more people pop up, maybe book some kind of a match based off of something in the past other than just the one Teddy Long joke that we get all the time. I like Teddy
On,
Long,
sh-
but like that's it,
on short notice though?
Oh, did they really have that short a notice?
I feel like they only had the week.
If they had only a week, then I still think that they probably could have done better. But if they had more than a week, they definitely could have done better. Because nothing at all screams to me throwback of Carmella beats Ruby Riott and Dominic beats Dolph Ziggler and we got a 10-man tag or whatever.
I hear you.
So I wasn't a big fan of that. I feel like the 2 hours really ended up being about 6 minutes worth of watching it. Like if you check out the clips, you got it all.
I like the Uso stuff a lot. I think that's a fun and interesting wrinkle, and I like that Jimmy Uso doesn't just forget what happened. What do you think about that?
I'm just assuming it's not going to lead anywhere. Prove me
We'll
wrong,
see.
WWE. No, at this point, the boy who cried wolf.
Okay, I'll give you that. It's not Bray Wyatt, but also, eh.
So let's talk AEW. There are, according to some websites, some chatter that the Elite and Cody Rhodes aren't getting along well. And the chatter comes with the whole heaping grain of salt of, but nobody's talking about anything to clarify anything, and it might not even be true. So it's kind of like, hey, I heard from this guy who doesn't want to say who it is that maybe something's going on. I'm sure that there's some kind of tension, just because when people work together, eventually there is going to be some kind of tension. But I kind of feel like that's probably almost entirely nonsense.
I mean, we can start connecting dots that aren't necessarily there and say, well, he's not a part of the being the Elite and hasn't been for a long time. He hasn't done anything with them in like the last year. I think the last thing he did with them was when they were all getting ready for the first Blood and Guts.
Right.
And the first show of the pandemic.
Yeah, he's
Where
been kind of doing his own thing, his own storylines and everything.
yeah, so maybe there's something there where there's smoke, there's fire, but a lot of it's hearsay, and it's probably like, look, if you and I got into an argument right now, it's not like we wouldn't eventually just get over it. You know, people argue, people bitch and moan. That's kind of the way I see it.
In that equation, which one's bitch and which one's moan?
In the equation of me and you.
I was thinking Elite and Rhodes.
Oh, in that case, Elite's probably bitch, Cody's probably moan.
I like how there's literally no means of following any logic when it comes to a question like that, but it's still like, probably this one. It's like, and by how so?
Because what we know, you know? Look, just keep going.
Drop a comment below. What do you think? Who do you think so? If there is some kind of heat between them, then that's something that I think is going to be a much, much, much bigger deal down the line. And then we won't have to speculate. Well, no, because something like, Cody will leave or something. But I'm
Cody
just
won't
assuming
leave.
it's BS.
Yeah. It's probably overhyped, let's say.
Cody ate somebody's sandwich backstage. And they're like, oh, man.
Don't touch that.
Yeah.
So much.
Let's talk about Dynamite. We had a couple things here and there that were kind of important. We had established that next challenger for Kenny Omega's championship is going to be either Pac or Orange Cassidy. Who are you rooting for?
So I put out a tweet that stated, should the main event of the pay-per-view be Orange Cassidy and Kenny Omega, it will be the first pay-per-view that they've done that is not headlined by a former WWE guy. So I'm rooting for Cassidy in that regard. I also want to see, because it'll be a different animal. Can Cassidy turn up the seriousness? Will they have the balls to put that match in the main event? Because I tweeted that out, dude. People were like, "Nah, I think it's gonna be the Bucks and Moxley and Kingston." It's like, why? Why wouldn't you have the Impact champion, the AAA champion, and your champion headline your pay-per-view?
Yeah, I can't imagine Bucks get that spot. They'll be on the card, but that's not going to be the main event.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, for that rationality, Sheeta and Baker should be more of a main event.
And somebody said that to me too, and I was like, I love him. No. Like, Kenny should be your main event. I
And we
think
got, okay.
I think Kenny's been around long enough already on a weekly basis that people are forgetting this dude was the hottest commodity ever, and people were waking up at like 3 in the morning just to catch a glimpse of his shit in Japan. Like, don't don't let you being spoiled make you forget how good this guy is, and this guy is one of the best in the world.
Has the whole best in the world at what I do phrase corrupted your point of view when somebody says best in the world like it does for me?
Yeah, I think that and the Punk stuff.
Oh, between Jericho and that, yeah.
Yeah, it just, oh my God, best in the world.
I'm the best in the world at what I do. That's what Mark Henry goes, and that's what I do. We got some stuff with Cody Rhodes against QT Marshall. We got
Cody bled hard way.
which is kind of like flip a coin. Is Cody going to do that in one of his matches recently?
TNT was very open about putting a parental advisory on this whole show.
I mean, when you're revolving around something called blood and guts,
Yeah.
makes sense. I'm actually kind of worried, like, well, maybe YouTube's gonna have an issue with me having that in my title. We'll see.
That'd be stupid.
Wouldn't be the worst thing that that YouTube's done. Speaking of that, AEW taking down Mania. Thought you guys were cool.
Yeah, because the algorithm went nuts. They took down half their own shit for their music channel.
Insane. They really got to fix that stuff. But then again, let's round things out with the actual thing that's on the thumbnail, at least for right now. The Blood and Guts match. Pinnacle defeats the Inner Circle by surrender because MJF threatens to throw Chris Jericho off the top of the cage, and everybody just says, no, don't do it. We'll surrender. And he throws him off anyway. Now, before we get into whether or not we like the match, this has been the main criticism I've been seeing, which is, well, that sucked. And Shotzi tweeted out somebody just kind of falling backwards on a bed. Shayna had tweeted out something that I think is exactly how I argue a lot of different things. So major shout out to Shayna for being that rational, like, I can imagine she and I having a conversation where she totally gets whenever I use the analogy of, look, just because I'm criticizing something doesn't mean I'm saying that I can do it better. If I'm not a professional chef, but you overcook my steak, I still know that it's not medium. That kind of thing. She said, we don't actually want a village to be burned by a dragon in Game of Thrones. If they did that, that would be really bad. But if the special effects would have been garbage, it would have sucked also, and everyone would have said so. Yep. That is exactly what people don't want to realize. Jericho falling on those cardboard boxes and everything looked stupid.
Yep.
And that's not saying like, you don't like anything. That's always the go-to voice, by the way, for like everybody. It's so funny. That's always the thing. It's always, I disagree with you. But it's true. It's like you don't like anything. Why are you criticizing AEW? You WWE Mark? What are you on the payroll or whatever? No, that looked stupid. The end. The rest of the match was fucking fun. And the end was stupid.
I did have a problem with the amount of commercials.
Yeah.
If you saw a commercial-free version, I need you to give it over to me. I'd appreciate it. And look, the match itself was great. I didn't like, even without the stupid fall, I didn't like that the last 5 minutes focused solely on two guys in a 10-man war. I don't like that nobody tried to scale the cage. These athletes in the prime of their life weren't like, I'm going to get up there and save them.
Yeah, true. Sammy should have been able to jump up there pretty quickly.
And yeah, like, look, the special effects did suck, and you have to call them out on it. But also just don't do the spot. If you don't feel like you've got it well enough to, don't do the spot. You could have done anything else. You could have had them threaten to slam the door on his head. You could have had them do the arm breaker with like a chair at his arm, and Jericho's screaming, and Sammy says, "Hey, I can't take this anymore. I can't stand to see him in pain. I quit for him." You could have done so much, and it still would have had the same effect. I mean, I get that you want to do the whole "Long live the king," and
Yeah.
but like you didn't do it right.
Now,
Mufasa didn't
if we would have gotten MJF singing "Be Prepared" ahead of time, then that would have been good.
be prepared. I'll stop.
But like, yeah, like toss the guy off the cage, cool. Don't you know it's gonna look dumb? You just had the thing a couple weeks ago with the explosions. It hasn't been that long. It was what, February?
March
March,
March
really?
7th. It was
So
2 months
like
ago.
that looked terrible. And I know that some people are counter arguing, trying to say, I hate this so much when people do this. It's like, well, you guys were complaining about how they reacted to the Matt Hardy thing, and it's like, yeah, that doesn't mean one thing or the other. Like,
You can have like
you can do a
Tony.
safe fall that looks good, and also when a guy falls, knocks his head on the fucking concrete, you stop the match. Like, it's kind of,
Listen,
you can have it both ways in that kind of a scenario.
yeah, one of my biggest lines is you can't have it both ways. However, we have to stop doing this thing where it's either
It's all or nothing.
jet black or extremely, or all the way white.
Bright white,
You
yeah.
can have a middle ground. There is a middle ground here. We're not saying kill Chris Jericho literally for the sake of
Right.
our entertainment. There was a way to do that differently.
Yeah, I just don't think that and that the problem with that is that's the lasting impression. Like the Kenny Omega and John Moxley match. The big thing everybody was talking about was how dumb it looked at the end. If you're setting something up where the ending is going to be the big thing that everybody talks about and that fails, you just ruined everything that came beforehand. Having
Yeah.
Jericho laying down on top of all those boxes, and it's like, I forget who it was. It was like Excalibur or something. They were like, "Oh my god! Like, what did we just see? That man might have broken his back and whatever." And it's like,
Probably JR. That sounds like a JR.
oh, why did he push him off that?
Conrad, everybody's worried about their goddamn push, and now this goddamn MJF is pushed. Chris
I,
Jericho.
I love that on the most recent episode, the In Your House 97, I think is in some fashion. Not In Your House 97. There's more than one In Your House
Is
97.
in your house 7.
In Your House 7, yeah. When they're just randomly they're talking about rat ass JR. And Conrad says that he had said something like Jim Ross was like, do you ever put this in your coffee? And Conrad's like, I don't drink coffee. And he just goes off and he's like, I'm tired of your goddamn rhetoric. Just all pissed. But like, that's how it feels. It's kind of like, oh, did the match, was it cool? Yeah. Except the end sucked. Oh, what do you like about the end? Oh, it looked dumb. Oh, well, you think that they should have done something dangerous? No. Well then what do you want to do? I don't know. I want something that's safe, it looks good. Kind of self-explanatory, right? I don't actually want them exactly the same as what Shayna Baszler said. I don't actually want them to wipe out half the population when Thanos snaps his fingers. But, cool story.
Yeah,
Although maybe that would have been a good thing.
maybe.
That whole theory that is going around in the MCU about the reason why they're not talking about COVID is because patient 0 was snapped.
I
So
like that.
they avoided the whole pandemic.
I really like that a lot.
I think
Should
that's
have
awesome.
to bring that up when you're talking to a certain somebody about conspiracy theories.
Yeah, it's I think that the criticism for not liking this is well and justified. And whenever they do another blood and guts match, don't do that spot. Do something else. Like you said, do something with the chair in the middle of the ring
Oh,
or
you want to
whatever.
talk about ridiculous reactions to criticisms? Somebody, I somebody in the Fightful stream was like, "Well, what about Darby, and I said, "Look, if you're really complaining about this, Darby will be in one of these one day, and he'll just fucking get thrown off the cage
Yeah,
for real because he's crazy."
I'll probably do the
And we
coffin drop off of it.
and we all started laughing, and they're like, "Oh, real classy," laughing about Darby Allin getting hurt. It's like, good lord, you people want to be upset all the time.
Yeah.
Like, this is,
Like I've been saying the past couple of years, you could say hello to somebody and they'll be like, "You didn't say hi instead, asshole." It's like, who says hello or hey or hola or waves?
yeah, who waves?
So that's the week so far at the very least. As far as 12:14 a.m. on the 8th.
Yeah.
Hot tags, they're cooling down, and we hope that you
We
had
hope
a
that you're not cooling down. Like, we hope that life is good. Hey, you're staying hot, you know? Stay hot.
and tell us your thoughts, as we had said before, on all these things and anything else. And if we missed some kind of a topic and you really want us to talk about it, then drop it in the comments. Or, of course, you could always do a whole pick your poison thing and stuff too. But that's all I got to say, other than to toss out a couple other plugs. I've mentioned Fanboys. I've mentioned Smark Out Moment. So stay tuned for next week in particular on Smark Out Moment. We're going to be going through the predictions for WrestleMania Backlash. We're probably going to be doing a fantasy league update and do another draft for that this next season. Not entirely sure when we're doing that or what's going on with that, but you'll find out. And if you are subscribed to this channel and you ring that little notification bell, then you know that you'll know when it's up,
I'm gonna win
because
this
that's going to be
time.
the thing.
I wanna put that out there. I'm gonna win this time. I got my ass kicked last time, but this time I'm gonna win.
Well, the mangoes don't kneel, so I don't know. You got some competition. I'm so happy that, even more so, I'm so happy that I won at the very last thing like that. That's even so much better.
Because they don't kneel.
Because it's just like, it's such a troll move to be like, Callum's winning like every fucking week. And then ends up being like, not by like, 10 points or whatever the hell it was. But that's coming up in this next week. We've got a whole bunch of things happening on Fanboys Anonymous as well. We're doing a Scooby-Doo watch along for Fan Tracks. Thank you, Marco, for sponsoring that. We've got another episode of A Review to a Kill. We've got I don't know, we got some other stuff that we've done recently, so check that stuff out too. We might have some other things cooking depending on how things are
Damn
going.
right we will. Listen, we're always cooking. We're cooking everything. We're cooking with gas. We're cooking with electricity. I prefer gas. I don't know about you.
Hank Hill's a propane guy, and I'm not a big fan of King of the Hill. So no, I'm bringing that up.
Ah,
Offended?
no. I did think you would be a King of the Hill guy, actually, because it's one of the more intelligent shows like that.
Too southern with like the twangs and stuff. I couldn't
But
get
I
into
think
that.
that's like the gimmick, is they're kind of
Yeah.
taking the piss out of that stuff.
Boomhauer's cool though. That's for sure.
Dang on, man, you know what I'm saying? You
Boom.
gotta get the hot tags, man. Dang on, doing this on Saturday night at 12:17 a.m. You know, man, shit.
So then we got that stuff on Fanboys. We got some other stuff all in the mix here, and you can follow me at Tony Mango to find out whatever else is happening. We have some random tweets every once in a while or something. And you can follow Rob at Dude
Yeah.
Felice.
Follow me at Dude Fleece. Follow me at Dude Fleece everywhere. Look, I just had this. I just cracked 1,000 followers on Twitter. Tell me what you want to see from me. Tell me how to engage with you more and interact with you more. Because apparently, guys, Twitter has opened this thing called the tip jar. And Tony, I want you to take advantage of this too. Where people can just start paying you directly for your tweets. Tell me what you want from me. Tell me how I can facilitate my brand, Tony's brand, this brand. I want us to be more financially secure. Tell me what you want and we'll give it to you.
I 100% agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I got that part from Thor in my mind where Loki's just like, tell me.
Give me what I want. Oh, by the way, Batista said that after the next Guardians film, he'll probably never play Drax again.
I can see that being the case. They'll probably not really be using those characters anymore.
Yeah, but like Batista, this is a great film for you. Don't be Tobey Maguire.
Well, now he's doing that. God, what's the name of it? That zombie thing that's on Netflix.
Army of the Dead.
Yeah, so like he turned down a role in Suicide Squad for that. So he's making his way up. I could see him being like, I'm done with Drax.
It's a bad move, Dave.
Plus, could always come back. They put a dump truck full of money, onto his lawn, and ends up just being like, "Yo, Drax again." He might just be like, "All right, you know." Yeah, check out what's happening, and I don't know. We'll see you when we see you.
Damn right we
And
will.
that's it for episode number 492. Hope you enjoyed it. But for now, this has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out.